Hi everyone, I welcome you to Activity 1. In this activity, we're going to download, install and explore Google Earth Pro. So I know that we are not going to use this software for the rest of the activities, but for future remote sensing projects, you may need to use Google Earth Pro. So I thought it prudent that I introduce this software in a way that you feel confident in future when you are navigating the interface. So some of you might have used this software before. Sometimes you use this for finding places to visit. We're going to use it in a more remote sensing way. So we're going to have it installed on our computers, and then we're going to change image coordinates. So this is where the remote sensing kicks in. So you see some images, and how do you change the coordinates of these images? We're just going to do that. And sometimes you may have your own data and you want to bring it into this app. How do you do it? We're going to explore that in this unit. And in doing so, you have to be sure that this data you want to bring to the app is in KML or KMZ file format. And one of the important features about Google Earth Pro is the ability to see how the environment has changed over time. So it gives you the opportunity to step into time back and forth, to see what is changing around you. So this is what we're going to do. So let's get into it. So you may type this URL into a search bar, and then you bring it up. So in my case, I'm going to right click this URL, then open link in new tab. And then this is going to bring me here. And once you're there, just scroll all the way to the bottom and then click here. So accept and download, and then wait for the executable file to complete. And then once it's completed, just click on the file and then click yes, and just wait for it to finish installing. And let me say that those of you who sometimes you can't find the file up front, you need to go into your download folder. That is where normally it is saved to. So close this window, and you have your Google Earth Pro ready to start exploring. To open this app, just type into your search menu Earth, and then you see that Google Earth Pro just pops up. Just click that one there. And then just make it big and just close this window. And this is the Earth in 3 dimensions. So what you can see here, it brings me to Australia. It may take you to a different location. I have used this previously, so it is sort of recognizing my source, which is Australia, but don't worry if it's taking you to a different location. That is okay. But what I want you to see is that right at the bottom, you see this text. This is saying where this image came from, to form this data you are just seeing right in front of you. So this is just the source of the data you are seeing right in front of you. And at the bottom, you see imagery date. So the imagery date is when the image was acquired by the satellite. So that is what you're seeing there. And depending on your location, the image date may change. And also you see your latitude and longitude, scrolling at the bottom, and this is in degree, minutes and seconds. You can change that if you don't want, and I'm going to demonstrate that. But once you have it, and you have got places and then layers. So places is where you want to bring your own data. If you want to bring your own data, that is going to sit under places, and we're going to cover that. But we also have inherent layers, which you can see. So at the moment, borders have been ticked. So when you see the borders of Australia, So it's actually states and territories. So this is Western Australia. Once you zoom in, you see the name, and then this is the Northern Territory, which is going to be our focus. And also we got South Australia here, and then New South Wales here. So these are the states and territories here in Australia. Well, in some places we don't call it states or territories, but we call it regions or province. That is completely fine. Well, but if you turn that one off, you not see it again, and then 10 places off, and then you go roads, turn the roads on. You really need to zoom in to see the roads. Okay, so you need to zoom in and then wait for the roads to sort of pop up. So I'm just waiting for the roads to pop up. Normally you see these yellow lines. So this is the one we after. These are roads. So once you just play around it, explore, zoom in, zoom out, see places, you can find your home, where you live, 10 years ago, or maybe in 5 years ago. You can always go to these places and see them on the map. So that is really cool. Another thing you may want to do is you look for a place and you can't find it, but you know the name of the place. You go to the search bar and you type in the name. So in this case, we are after Catherine. So a bunch of name pops up, but we're going to select the first one. Click on search, and then I'm expecting Google to take me to this place, and then there you go. This is Catherine here, and so you can zoom in and then see nature, see artificial surfaces, and so on and so forth. Another place that we are interested in is Palmerston. So we are interested in Palmerston. So just this one here, and then go to search, and then let's see where Palmerston is in the Northern Territory. So there you go, in Australia. Right, this is a place, right? So we see Palmerston, right? So one of the things you may also want to do is Palmerston is just a recent place with a lot of built up areas. But then if you are curious, you want to say, how was this place 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you can always find that easily. But before we do that, you can we got the coordinates here. If you don't want the coordinates, you can change it. Another thing you can do is that if you go to view, you can turn on grid, and then you see latitude and longitude, and you see the meridians, the Tropic of Capricorn and the equator, where the equator is in the world, and the Tropic of Cancer, and all of that. And this series of latitude and longitudes, help you to define place, in a more detailed manner. And so that is how you turn on the grid. And when you don't want to see the grid, what do? You go to view, and then you turn it off. Another thing you may want to do is that if you go to tools and then options, you may be able to change the coordinate, right? At the moment it's degree, minutes, and seconds. If you don't want that, but decimal degrees, which normally what people prefer, you just click that, apply, okay. And then all measurement is going to be in decimal degrees. Every location you can see the changes, at the bottom of the map, changing depending on where you go. The location is going to change quickly, and this is all in decimal degrees. Okay, so once you have done that and you're happy with what you are seeing, you will go back to Palmerston here, and then what we want to see here in Palmerston, what has changed, which areas have been cleared of vegetation for built up areas to come up. You just want to see that all of this clearing, when did it happen, and so on and so forth. So this is where the Google Earth Pro shines, because if you go to this, time icon here and click on this, it gives you the time slider. You can go back and forth into time. So if you drag it all the way to 1985, then you can see changes. So for example, if I step or I travel forward and I come to 1986 and 1987, 88, 2004, and then try to track changes, right? Try to see where there were vegetation and then it got cleared, and or has been cleared, and then the clearing expanded, and all of that. You can go through time and see changes. Once you are taking note of what is changing, it is not boring, but otherwise it becomes really boring. And then it's sliding through time, and then you can see what is changing into what, and so on and so forth, right? So you can see clearly this big change that came recently before 2012. Before 2012, you may not see that, March 2012, you didn't see that, but then see April 2012, then boom, this clearing has happened, So this is how you can use the time slider to see how things change in the environment. And this is more of exploration. The other thing you can do is bring your own data. So this is where you want to bring your own data. So you go to File and then Open, and then you navigate to where this data is. So in this case, I'm going to where I have saved this data, and see my data is in what? KML. If it's not in KML, sorry, you cannot bring it into Earth Engine. And this is the data I have brought in. See, under places, you can see that the file is registered there, and now I can see the file with these yellow pins. These are sampling points, so these are places I want to visit and collect data. And once I have this, I can put it on my map, and then I can drive to these places to collect the data. So this is the Google Earth Pro that I have introduced. In the next activity, we are going to sign up for Google Earth Engine. That is the main software we are going to use for the activities, and so we're going to sign up for that. And then once we sign up for that, we are going to explore Google Earth Engine, and that is going to be about writing scripts and modifying scripts to solve real life problems. I will see you in the next activity. Thank you for listening.